Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, words from my brethren in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Shout out to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Speaking of Philly, video right here is about Jesse Hart. Super middleweight contender, someone that is on the. I've been following Jesse for a little bit now. He's someone that I'm not gonna lie, as far as American fighters go, that I'm rooting for to do well because I like his personality. I think he'd be good for boxing if he can get into continue winning and get some momentum. But with the Deshaun Johnson fight and the injuries, those are things that kind of hampered his career a little bit. But he seems to be kind of on the. I'm not gonna say fast track, but he's on the right track to maybe finally getting the world title shot, and because he's been in the top of the rankings in the WBO for a while, and hopefully for his sake he can win. And I'm not sure because I gotta be honest, I didn't get a chance to watch his first fight after the Deshaun Johnson fight against some guy named Andrew Hernandez. So I don't want to sit here and act like I watched it, but I did catch some of the Alan Campa fight, which was the last fight he had on the Lomachenko undercard. This is the untelevised part that was on Top Rank TV, and he had his moments. Jesse had his moments where he would box and he would use his jab, and he landed a really, really, really devastating uppercut. With his length, with his length and his boxing smarts and his power. There's definitely a lot of potential there. But you look at that Jesse now, he's 27. This is the time of his career where I want to see him really take that next step. And that's the problem with a lot of fighters in boxing today. You look at guys and they come into the sport and they have a lot of hype behind them. Like, for example, look at Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. was one of the best amateurs America had in a while when he came to the pros. And he had everything. He was people were saying this guy's going to be one of the biggest stars in boxing. Some people, and he might still have, arguably the fastest hands in boxing, right there with Amir Khan, Gary Russell and Amir Khan. But he was relatively protected and hadn't really fought anybody until Lomachenko, and Lomachenko embarrassed him. So this is not to compare Jesse Hart to Gary Russell Jr., but because I feel like he's fought in a couple of decent opponents. He fought Deshaun Johnson, who regardless of his record, Deshaun Johnson's has always proven to be slightly better than his record would indicate. He's fought a guy like Derek Finley, a tough veteran fighter. He's fought Aaron Pryor Jr., another guy who's a tough veteran. Never really anybody that was a world beater, but guys who are kind of just there to give you tough rounds, and he's fought those guys, and he's been successful for the most part. But he went life and death with Deshaun Johnson, and that fight to me was a huge eye opener because it showed that Jesse needed to work on a lot. And to be honest, I gotta be honest, I haven't watched enough of his recent fights to make an honest assessment of how much better he's gotten. I just seen parts of his last fight, and he right now, the reason I'm even making this video in the first place is because right now he's in line for a big title shot. He's the number one ranked fighter by the WBO. He's in line, at some point whenever Gilberto Ramirez accepts the challenge to fight for the WBO title, Jesse Hart versus Gilberto Ramirez, and that's gonna be a tough fight. Gilberto Ramirez is someone that he's coming off of an injury. And I believe even with Gilberto is relatively untested. Gilberto, I believe he snatched that title off Arthur Abraham, if I'm not mistaken. An older Arthur Abraham, but he's the younger fighter in this case. He's someone that I feel could get Jesse some problems because when you look at Gilberto Ramirez, he's a southpaw. He does have punching power, and this is a guy that when you look at his career, much like Jesse, he hasn't fought the best names. But I would say even with Gilberto, I can't say that. He fought Rogelio Medina in his 15 fights, so that's probably the most notable name to me. Rogelio Medina, as we all know, in the eyes of many, beat James DeGill, gave him a tough fight, and it's always been giving guys tough fights to beat Leon Love as well. So Jesse, to me, it's a make or break year for him. It's a make or break year because he hasn't necessarily been as his momentum has stopped. His momentum's kind of stopped over these last couple of years, and especially after that Deshaun Johnson fight where he stepped up the first knockdown of his career, went life and death with him. It's really put up a shutout for Jesse, and I think he, like I said, if you go back and you check all my Jesse Hart videos, I've always spoken highly of him. I think if he can put it together, if Top Rank can keep him busy this year, and he can win that Gilberto Ramirez fight, I think the sky's the limit for him. Because when we look at the landscape 168, there's really not that many. It's really shallow as far as the top guys in the division. You have James DeGale, who's still around. You have Gilberto Ramirez. You still have Arthur Abraham, I believe, still around the division. But the division it's arguably the weakest division in boxing. Caleb Smith, George Groves, Chudinov. If Jesse can finally put together those attributes, because he can box, he's got the length, he's got a good jab, he's got good power, he's got good foot speed. If he can put all of his attributes together, he has a chance to be the best fighter in this division. And now, do I think it's going to happen? I think it's going to be a very, very tall task because, like I said, as much as I like Jesse, he's shown in the past that he can get hit. And I don't know if that could play a big downfall in his fight with Gilberto Ramirez, being that Gilberto's a southpaw, Gilberto does have power, Gilberto's going to be presenting some different angles for Jesse. But if he can win that fight, I think Jesse can beat a lot of these middleweights. I truly believe that. Do I think he can be an undisputed champion or anything like that? I got to be honest. No, I don't. I don't think Jesse will be an undisputed champion or nothing like that. He's gonna have to show me, but I still do see some potential there, and he's got to show me that this year. Hopefully, he gets the opportunity to, but he's got to show me that this year. He's got to not just be good, but be sensational. And he had some sensational moments in his last fight from the clips I saw. But I would like to see Jesse just take it to that next level this year, and he can look as sensational as he wants against guys like Alan Campa and Deshaun Johnson or whoever, Pryor Jr. He's got to do it against the top level opposition, because until you do it against top level opposition, you really, we can sit here and speculate all you want about how good a guy is. Until we see it against another world class guy in the division, it's all just hearsay. I mean, I use the Gary Russell Jr. Analogy very well. He was very protected. I'm not saying Jesse is protected like Gary Russell Jr. because nobody was protected like Gary Russell Jr. That dude was constantly fighting TBA opponent after TBA opponent after TBA opponent for like 5 years straight. And then when he fought Lomachenko beat his ass because he had not had that proper experience at the top level of boxing. But he had a good skill set from the amateurs, but it didn't translate to the pros at that point in time because he hadn't fought the right fights. When you're a prospect, you got to be matched properly, and you got to have the right prospect type building fights. Not guys who are not too easy, but guys who are good enough to push you and give you competitive rounds, and maybe even give you a little adversity. I feel Jesse's kind of had that moment with Deshaun Johnson, and that's why I would be more inclined to say he can become a world champion. But he's supposed to get a title shot probably this year, and I can't lie. I gotta go break down. I really gotta go for both Gilberto and Jesse. I gotta get into their footage more, like just their style, break down their styles more, and then once I do my research, I'll have my prediction. But there's a lot of rip. I think Jesse has the tools, the physical attributes to win, the power, the speed, the length. It's all there for him, and I hope he really taps into that and shows me this year. But let me know what you guys think. Jesse Hart probably gonna get a world title shot before the end of this year against Gilberto Ramirez in the division. We'll put him in line for some big unification fights. You still got in the division. You got guys like we got Caleb Smith who's coming up. We got the division's wide open. I can't really even say there's a bunch of big fights. There's big matchups, but not big unifications fights yet. So let me know what you guys think about Jesse Hart and everything I said about him down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.